G'day viewers, welcome to another super cool, super helpful repair video from the Goat Shed, located in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. Now, today is Thursday, the 27th of March 2025. It's 21 degrees Celsius outside, which is 69.8 degrees Fahrenheit. We've been pretty steady on that over the last few days. Now, we're doing something different today. A lot of people have asked us over time what we actually do here every day. Well, I'll tell you, and this is what we're going to show you. So it may be a little bit uneventful, but needless to say, this is what we do. So it's currently about 8 a.m. in the morning. We've already had our morning tea, morning coffee I should say. I arrive at Graham's around 7:30 a.m. We have a bit of a chat for half an hour, check our messages, answer some questions if we've got time. And then we get started at work. And we'll work through till about 10:30. Now, we're not going to record the whole morning. We're going to just do snippets, because otherwise you'll be very, very bored. And what I was going to mention, back in 2022, if you wanted to have a look, we did a video which was called This Is Where We Live. And this illustrated a little bit about our town. We started off up at a beach right up the top of town, which is close by. Then we moved down to where Hankin and Company used to be, to show you where that was. Then we met to my house to show you where I live, and then we came to the goat shed to show you where Graham lives in the actual goat shed. So that's not a bad video if you want to go back and have a look at it. So Graham's over there at the moment. He's just opened up the parts cabinet and he's looking for something. I'm not sure. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for like strengthener blades for the back of these switches.
Oh, and the flippers.
Flipper switches.
Okay, so what he's doing, that Playfield that's in the cradle, so this is a cradle here that was made, and we've got the Playfield in it. It was specifically made for pinball Playfields. We've had this for years now. We sit it on the bench and we're able to work on the Playfield. We can sort of get around to the front, the back and the side, but over this side is where the desk is, so can't quite square yourself onto that, but it works well for us. This is Gottlieb's ice show we're working on. We do intend to do a video on the repairs on this, but at the moment we're just going through all the...
Yeah, it just shows basically all the work that we do to get to that stage.
Absolutely. Now, we had rather an interesting thing on this Playfield. It's having a whole new cabinet. Well, no, it's having cabinet repairs.
But massive cabinet repairs, but...
And the cabinet had been in water or something, it seemed. It had to have been. And I'm going to show you something on the end of the Playfield which is going to reinforce that something really bad happened to this game. We really don't know what. That's Graham's down that end now. We're gluing and screwing the laminate together simply because it's split apart. And we used an epoxy bonding glue thing, but I don't know, it didn't seem to work. Yeah. And it was pretty badly curled. I'm going to put some photos up in the goat shed on our Facebook page for everyone to see. But we've done the other side of the Playfield, as I said, and we've done pretty well underneath. We're up to... We've done all the pop bumpers. So we take all the frames out. Just give me a pop bumper frame there, Graham, please. Just a frame.
Yeah.
Oh, and you want to give me the bumper frame too. So these have got this particular machine's got these 555 lamps, and they clip in, which is a bit unique. The bumper bodies, some they're all being cleaned in warm soapy water.
Well, I think we've got to replace a couple.
A few are cracked and are badly cracked. We've got the rings to be polished, and we've got one ring we've got to replace because it's all loose on the rivets. We'll try and hit it down.
And all 5.
And then we've done
Or the
done the yolks and everything. We've polished the plunger, and I don't think we put new bumper kits in this one. We put a couple of new yolks in because they weren't too bad.
Oh, and sleeves as well.
Oh, of course, coil sleeves. So we've done all that, which is normal. And what we're about to do...
We've got to get 5 white.
Skirts. We'll put new skirts on. At present, we have the flippers out of the machine. We're waiting on a flipper kit. This one takes that 01 flipper kit. Remember, you got 01, they go up to a certain point at 1969, and then they change over to 02, and then they change over to 03. So we're just waiting on that. Hopefully that flipper kit will possibly arrive in today. And all we've got to do is put the bumpers back together. We take all the spoon switches out and clean them. See, they're nice and clean. They were all filthy and everything on the outside. They've all been done. There's 5 pop bumpers in this one. We've gone over all the switches in the trip bank. We've visually checked all the relays. Now, just talking about relays, last Friday evening, Saturday morning here for us, we did Mark Gibson Fun with Pinball Coaching Clinic, and we had a guy with an Adaball, not a Sky, not a Buccaneer, but the Adaball Buccaneer, what's it called? Ship Ahoy. Yeah. We had a guy with a Ship Ahoy, and he had this really weird problem in the sequencing. You know, you've got the ship steering wheel there and you've got all the lights. What happened was when he got to a certain point, almost the last light to get out, and he went through the spinner, it reset everything. Well, that took quite a few hours of troubleshooting, and that probably could have been avoided if the guy had done what we do, which is take the whole motorboard out and just go through everything. What he ended up having was a make-break switch in the OO relay, which I think was the reset relay for the sequence in that game. I can't quite remember. Anyway, he had a make-break switch that wasn't breaking. It was, in other words, the middle switch, and then the outside and the rear switch were actually touching when it moved, and it was causing that OO relay to fire when it shouldn't. And simply by going through all the relays, you would have seen that. You know, and it would have saved hours and hours of troubleshooting. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was good fun troubleshooting, but yeah, it was quite time consuming. So let's just move around here now and I'll show you what he's doing. This is where it was delaminated.
Yeah, it's got to be tidied up yet.
So there's a bit of that epoxy stuff we used. We think that might have been a bit off, but this one here in particular, that top one was curled right, almost 45 degrees, would you say? So that'd be about right, wouldn't it, Graham?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So we glued it a day and a half ago, well, probably 2 days ago now, but now we're screwing it. We're putting those brass screws in and screwing it down. We've countersunk them, and he's doing that. Now, the good news is he's now working on the flipper switches there, and they're in pretty good condition.
See the bit that the actual wiper, the
arm hits.
Yeah, the wire bit.
Yeah. So these have got those wire bits. That was busted. Yeah. Same on this side too, is it not?
Well, I've already changed that one.
Oh, that's this one here, is it?
Yeah.
The back one? Yeah, he's put a new blade on there. They were broken away.
So that's the old one. That's the old one there.
Yeah, right. Okay, good.
So see, the wire form wasn't hitting it. It should be hitting about there.
Yeah, right, yeah. And these have got those double contact pads. They were pretty good, so we've dremeled them up and we don't have to replace that. We've changed the sleeve in the ball trough coil, because that does a lot of work, and make sure that all works. On average, you generally change about 15 sleeves in a game.
Yeah, sometimes more.
So our last video was on Golden Arrow, and there it is behind us. We've rang the owner up to come get it. We're really happy with that. It's playing really well. The owner hasn't gotten back to us just yet, but I'm sure they will. And hopefully they'll come and pick that up either tomorrow being Friday or Saturday. All right, well, we'll leave Graham to his own devices and we'll take you out into the front of the shed area. We're just going to walk through here, this doorway here. There we go. And the first thing we're going to see here is lightning ball. We finally got the inserts for that recently, so we've got to put them in and get the Playfield overlay done. We had hoped to have had this done a while ago, but just the way the cookie crumbles, it hasn't worked out that way. This is the back end of Graham's Klondike. So slowly we've done all the step units in the back. We've done the replay unit, we've done the ball count unit, and we've done the match unit. Now we're doing the score reel frames and the relays.
That's one that's just come out of the cleaner, and this is one that we've actually buffed up. I still got to give it a final hit.
Well, look at that, it's shiny. Just hold it up a touch higher, Graham. Yeah, there you go. Excellent.
And that's a score reel, but I'm going to probably get a better one than that. We cleaned up pretty good.
I think we might be able to get some decals on that. I think.
I've got a bucket load of second-hand ones.
Right,
there.
yeah, and these are the
these are the score and the score and the relays and the reset relays here.
Okay.
So the ones in there were badly rusted, so I've got some out of the donor machine.
So we're going to replace all those.
They're going to replace all of them, and these two up here, they're the resets and they're the scoring ones.
Excellent.
Oh, we've done the chime box too as well, Kim.
Oh, that's right, of course, yeah. This is just something we're doing in between jobs.
Yep.
Now over here, we have Majorettes. Now this came all the way from South Australia, which if you know anything about the geography of Australia, it's a long way away. It's in another state. Now, we've been tasked to refurbish this. It's going to have a whole new cabinet repairs. It's got quite a decent back glass on it. A little faded, and we're going to do all that up for the guy. He wants this to look really smink, so that's what we're going to do. We'll probably, not probably, we're going to replace all the pop bumper. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 10 pop bumper bodies to replace, and some of those are dead bumpers, I think. This is a fun game. It's an Adderball, of course, and it's quite ironic. We've got 2 Adderball games in the Goat Shed at the moment. We have Ice Show and Majorettes. I've mentioned this before, people, for our United States friends. Adderball games were not imported into Australia back in the day, back in the 60s or 70s. It's only when people started to get into the hobby that along they started to come. And mind you, we don't see a lot. My good friend Craig, who I travelled to the United States with, he's just purchased from a well-known collector in upstate New York a couple of games, and one of them is Subway. So that's an Adderball. Crosstown, of course, is the replay unit. And Crosstown was the last machine to have the push-up balls on it, people. So that's just something that's fairly interesting. All right. I guess while I'm making this video, I'm really not doing any work, but we just had to let Graham do the screw that down. 2 of us can't do that. There's another perspective of that Golden Arrow. And remember, people, that there's rollers on those legs. They're our service legs, so we can move the thing around easy. It makes machines like Golden Arrow a little taller, and particularly because it's a big door game. There's the back box. We cleaned everything up. It came up quite nicely, as we mentioned in the video. So, as I said, our last video was on Golden Arrow, the gameplay, how it works. If you haven't already watched that, take a look. It's about a 20-odd minute video. Alright. This is just our other workbench where we have our vise, all exciting stuff. We've just got our little towel we've put down here fairly recently, so to make it work, there's our drill press. That's a beauty, that one. That's almost an industrial one. And then, you know, we have a rather untidy shelf up the top there. That yellow container has penetrine in it, penetrating oil. I often use on nuts and things to get them loose. And then we have all sorts of other stuff up there. Just bought a new container of isopropyl the other day. We ran out, and Graham's now searching for
skirts.
We just got that whole bag of skirts in from PBR a couple of weeks ago, and he wants some white ones. And out of all the skirts we've used, we're now going to use a lot of white ones.
Yeah, we go for them.
So they don't last long.
So you think now that'll last us a couple of months?
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah.
See that box there? I think that's the box they came in. Yeah, it is. That box of parts cost us 180 Australian dollars to get here.
Yeah, I think all up it was 660 or something.
So yeah.
While we're here, we'll ask these people, these good people, if they know in the comments, why are these got letters on them?
Yeah, so there we are. We got.
Some have.
That's a white insert we got from
some
PBR,
have it and some have.
And it's got the letter G in it. Just hold it up again, Graham. Focus is good.
It's like it's embossed or something.
Yeah, it's embossed. We don't know. I might have to ask Steve Young. Does anybody know? Put in the comments, please, if you know. It's in some of the coloured ones as well.
Do you know if that all wet sand out all right?
Well, that's a good question as well.
Of course, we can't leave it like that because we're putting an overlay on the whole playfield. And it's got to be completely flat.
So something's got to happen. All right. It looks like he's almost finished screwing this down.
Yeah.
So we're happy now. That'll hold down okay.
It's not pretty, but you won't see it anyway.
You won't see it. The screws may stick through just a fraction on the other side, but of course the apron covers that up. But hey, you've got to do what you've got to do, and you've got to work with what you've got. They are wood screws we're putting in there, which is good. This is pretty cool on this game. The ball kicker unit. So they've got this arm and they've got the angle bracket on each side, so when it pulls in it moves both. Put a new coil sleeve in that as well, of course. That's good. It's interesting to work on these old games, and here's something you don't see very often. We can't get over this. Here's a lovely trip bank here with only one switch.
Yeah, beautiful.
To worry about. So you can see you're not all cluttered up with the wiring. Here it's very simple. Makes it. Wished all trip banks were like that, people. We'd be laughing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've just turned the playfield over in the cradle, and you can sort of see the shiny bits here. We have cleaned it and waxed it. This hasn't come up super good, but
comparison
it's better than
it
was, isn't it?
Was terrible, Kim.
Yeah, it wasn't real good. We've varnished all the rails. They've been off. We've just put those back on. It just makes a big difference. Now, you know, there is some marks here on where the bumpers go, but look, we're not doing anything about that. The guy doesn't want that done. There's a mark down here, which would be a fair bit of work where the ball kicks out.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything about that.
It's not great either.
Yeah, down between the flippers. But the main thing is we've now repaired that laminate where it was split. So this machine should live a long life now.
Yeah.
The only other thing is and I guess we should keep these in stock, and we don't. We have the targets. They're probably all need a bit tired and need replacing. There they are there. One light, and here's the other light here. But look, I mean, they've cleaned up pretty well compared to what they were.
Yeah. Once it gets populated, it'll
You've got to sort of draw a line. People don't want to spend a lot of money, and yeah, what Graham just said, once that playfield's populated, it's going to look a whole lot different.
So we've got to build up the bumper bodies, put them back in.
All right.
Put the light globes in everywhere, of course. Got to finish the hardware here, around the front, put the tray on, top tray on.
Right here.
We'll probably knock this playfield over today.
Now here's a little trick, people, and I'm going to show you. I have a little oil bottle there. That used to have silicone oil in, that bicycle chain lubricant. We started to use that about 5 or 6 years ago, but I discovered it left a bit of a residue. So this is a great little bottle. It's got the little flexible bit on it. So what you do, you oil, yes, oil the lamp sockets. So just a little drop of oil down in here. Do each socket, squeeze her out. Now what that does, that swells the bit of cork down in there to so it enhances the integrity of the socket so it doesn't spin around. If they're already spinning badly, well, it's not going to work. But
yeah,
if they're not, it helps preserve them.
Yeah, we try to replace the lamp sockets as a last resort.
We do. Did I do that one? These ones here under the apron there, you do them, and when we put the bulb in, we'll move it up and down a couple of times.
And we put the colour from colour
yeah,
the cap over it, and they look great.
I think I've done that one. Yeah, the colour caps are all there because they burn out, and they're like, you'll find that the operators did not change those
because it's just
they were very hard to get
too much
at.
hassle.
Yeah, it was a bit of a hassle. So that's what you do. Doesn't take long to do.
Just let it soak in for a minute.
A lot of people, this wasn't my idea. Someone came up with this in a forum in one of the Facebook groups. Probably EM Pinball. And that's the other thing we do. What he's doing now, he's just flicking out bits of cardboard we fold over to put in the rollovers to keep them out of the road, especially this type. You don't want to be ripping your hand open with those because they're the nasty type. Yeah. So just a little bit of folded cardboard and pop it down in there, that's all. Little trick for you.
Right, so pretty well everything's buffed up, especially those posts took a little bit to do because they look great once they're done. You've got to do them. If you don't do them, it just looks terrible.
Okay, so he's done all that. This has got those silver posts on them, and what he did yesterday, I had the day off yesterday, I had a couple of appointments and I couldn't come round to the goat shed. So Graham spent the morning buffing them up. Now yes, you can use a tumbler, but
so they're okay. They're not brilliant, but they're okay.
They're pretty good. We find that 24 hours it takes in a tumbler, and we've got a tumbler, but we just
haven't got the time.
Haven't got the time to spend doing it, and
because we're knocking out machines every 2 or 3 weeks.
We're just so busy. Like, hopefully the next job we'll be doing is what? Let me just see. So after Ice Show, we're probably going to have Williams Fantastic come in. We haven't got that here yet. We've also got another Kingpin and a Jungle Queen and a Bronco to come in.
Another Jungle Queen?
Yeah, another Jungle Queen. The guy rang up. and we've got a still got to finish a pro football and a card whiz, but they belong to our apprentice Kyle. They're sort of side jobs. And then in a few more months, maybe even a little less, we're going to have a flipper card. I've mentioned before that people might recall we did a video on a top card, I don't know, a month or two back, and the same owner, he's got those three in the series. He's got a flipper card, a top card, and what's the other one, Graham?
Drop a card.
Drop a card, yeah. So he's got that. And of course we showed you Majorettes earlier, and that's going to be an ongoing project. We're going to have that here till about September this year. Yeah. September is when our annual Pinfest is on.
And hopefully it's going straight from here to Pinfest.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then the guy's going to drive over and pick it up as long as it's all good to go. So that's what we've got happening now.
So I just found another bumper ring. Second hand one, of course, but we've got new ones, but
okay,
this one will do. It'll clean up nice, it'll buff up.
Yeah. You're going to buff that now?
Yeah,
okay.
in a minute, yeah.
Right, so we've just finished our morning tea here in the goat shed, and it's now, we had a few visitors, so it's now almost 11:15. But in between time we've been working away. We've now fitted all the pop bumper bodies back in. 1, 2, 3 new bodies. The other 2 were okay. We had some cracked ones.
Did you mention that Ice Review's only got 4? And one's a dead bumper.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So I think everyone heard what Graham just said there.
The middle one on the credit one, the Ice Review, it's got a dead bumper, and this one's got a popper bumper.
We've fitted the apron back on.
Yep.
And we've fitted the little ball arch there.
Yeah, the reflector things on the back
there. The reflector things, yeah, on the back.
We'll give them a quick polish. They're not brilliant, but they're okay. And
we've put new globes in all the lamp sockets.
Yeah, so we're getting there. We've just got to put the posts in next, and the top lanes.
And we showed you that. They've all been polished. And
the top arch.
Just while we were having our morning tea, the parts delivery man arrived with a flipper rebuild kit. So we're going to roll that over and do that.
And put in the bumpers too, the bumper chassis and everything.
Yeah, we'll put those bumper chassis in. And I mentioned earlier on, today is Thursday, so the goat shed has a tradition every Thursday. We always finish at 12 noon, and then Thursdays we go off and have some lunch at a pub and a couple of beers. And there's generally 3 of us go.
And Spanky.
Oh, Spanky comes sometimes.
It's his favourite time of the week.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? So often people call in and see us and we get a bit interrupted, but that's okay.
But we enjoy it.
We just had one guy, he wants us to go and look at a machine for him, which we normally don't do, but it seems like we may be going to try and help the guy out. We only work Monday through Saturday, so that's 6 days of the week, from about 8 AM till 12 midday. Sometimes we get machines delivered by a pinball carrier that comes at all hours of the day and night, which can be a little bit annoying because Graham's then restricted because he lives here and where he can and can't go, but that's just the way things work out. So what we'll do now, we'll just turn this over in the cradle and we will start putting the pop bumper bodies in and the flipper kit. Let's just roll this over. So in order for us to be as efficient as possible, this is the bench where we both sit, and what occurs is that we have some of the more commonly used tools besides screwdrivers on this board here. So we just screwed a board on and we put some hooks on there. So they're all our Allen key wrenches, you know, and the most popular ones you use are a 1/8 and the 3/32. Well, that shouldn't be there. That's in the wrong spot. 1/8 and 9/64. That belongs up there. And then we've got all our magnetic spin tights here. Up to 3/8. That's about. We do have the others, but you don't use them very often, so we don't have those there. We've got a spray bottle of kerosene to free up parts. We've got some isopropyl in the spray bottle. And we've got some little hobby files. One seems to be missing there at the moment. And we've got this wrench here, which is 9/16 and 5/8 for leg bolts and head bolts. I bought those in the USA a couple of years ago. They're handy. So then over the other side there, we've got all this. We've got some more of those wrenches. Any of you guys from the States would recognise this brand. It's Husky, and apparently they're Home Depot brand, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's where I bought them. I've only been into a Lowe's over there once, and I bought another set of those when I was over last year. So over here on the other side we have a lot of our other tools. We were over there earlier and we'll show you. We just have this tub here which has got a lot of our screwdrivers and our pliers. Very handy, these duckbill pliers. I just bought those, 2 sets of those recently. Really handy. Good for bending things. They've got the good jaws on them. And of course, you know, the most important tools you've got are the switchblade adjusting tool and the points file. It's quite ironic, I did a video probably a couple of years ago now on the tools that were necessary, and I forgot to illustrate those 2 very important tools. You'll also note we've got a whole pile of jumper leads up there hanging off the wall there, of course, essentially handy. Those of you that watched our second last video would, on how to jump a circuit, would have seen us use those. And they're very good for troubleshooting pinball machines. We often do these coaching clinics once again with Mark Gibson, and a lot of people, we ask them, have they got any alligator clip jumper leads, and they say no. So if you're going to be working on pinball machines, you really need to have some of those. They're very, very handy. I'm sure you can buy them at any electrical store around. Well, pretty much that's what we do in the goat shed. All day, every day. Sometimes we're working on 2 machines at once.
Yeah.
Sometimes
more.
But not too often, because we haven't got really the work area to do that.
Well, we make do with what we got.
We do. That's a 15 litre Vivor brand ultrasonic cleaner. Now that got gifted to us by a customer, and that was really good of him to do, because our old one had sort of died. We use that, I won't say every day, but we use it 2-3 times a week.
Yeah. And of course our compressor underneath.
Oh yes, there's our compressor. The whole box and dice. Graham does a lot of spray painting sometimes, so he uses that. And of course the old bench grinder, there he is, he's leaning on that. Yep. And the old buffing wheel, look at that, it's down to, it's almost gone, hasn't it?
That big it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
Well, there's the soft buff. You can see the difference, and that's worn down heaps. That's
worn down, yeah. We got any other new ones, or?
No.
No.
No, we go through them.
Right, okay.
But it's hard to get a good one like that. This is the ones that are hard to get, the double thickness. See? That one's enough. You can see the difference there.
Oh, the width, yeah.
The width, yeah, they're hard to get.
Okay.
But that
so that's his speciality. He's got the gloves and the safety glasses and the
ear muffs.
Even the ear muffs. Look at that, we've got it all.
But I waited until I was deaf to buy them. That's the trouble.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we come out here again, and we have another look at, that's Brett, everybody. There's a reminder of our address. And what we want to know, is there any interest in buying those goat shed signs off anybody? We've got to buy 100, and we've mentioned before, we're not a business. We've got to buy them out of our own pocket, and you know, we might have to wait 6 months to recoup our money. But if anyone wants them, let us know, and we'll be happy to probably get some. Well, there's the old lights going again. Anyhow, so there it is, the day in the life of a pinball mechanic in the goat shed. Thanks so much for watching, and please consider subscribing to our channel. Even if you'd like to make us a donation with a super thanks, that would be appreciated, because we need to order more parts from PBR and pay that horrendous freight bill. Spanky says, this has been another Goat Shed presentation.